They say you should learn something new every day. Like how you should only drink Jägermeister at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, ice cold. Like those frozen cavemen they find, which makes you wonder, what would a caveman think of Jägermeister? Well, if you served it warm, he'd probably throw it in your face, say, "Unga boonga," and storm off. And nobody wants that. So drink it cold or not at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S., White Plains, New York.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
I'm your host, Stassi Schroeder. Welcome to Tell Me Lies, the official podcast. What's the most unhinged thing of season 3?
Steven, because he's so evil.
I do think he is misunderstood.
You see everyone face consequences. It's intoxicating.
The writers just know how to trick you.
There's always a twist in this show. It's nothing you would expect.
Tell Me Lies, the official podcast, now streaming, and stream the new season of Tell Me Lies on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. My name is New John and today I'm sitting down with Taine Plumtree. We're going to talk all about the Cardiff game coming up, his season, his injury, and we'll also touch on his disciplinary record. He's got a lot to say and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Welcome back to the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Myself, John, here, and I'm joined right now by Taine Plumtree. Taine, great to have you on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, John. It's always a pleasure getting to chat.
Yeah, and it's nice to have some players stopping by as well, which is always fun. Before we get to anything, well, I'm not going to say it's not important. I think you boys have had a little bit of time off, right? You've been away. I saw some of you in matching polo shirts on Instagram. Yeah. What was going on there?
The salmon pink matching polos. We had a golf trip. It was awesome, to be fair. There was 8 of us, and we did like a Ryder Cup style of. There was 4 boys from Cardiff versus 4 boys from out west. So on day 2, the Cardiff boys thought it'd be fitting to look good together and play good, I guess. Unfortunately, the whole tournament through the holiday ended up in a draw at 4 points all. So, boys are a little bit gutted about that. But no, what a trip!
No, no one wins. That's everyone's. I wouldn't say everyone's happy, but no one's too upset.
Yeah. To be honest, I think we were more upset that there wasn't an outright winner, that like we couldn't properly celebrate in their faces, But is what it is. We'll have to come down to another game of East v West at some stage before the season ends.
That's it. And never mind East v West. You could probably do a North versus South as well, considering how many Kiwis and Aussies you've got with you.
Well, it was exactly that too. It was Fletcher, Archer, Duggo, and me versus those other boys. So it was Southern Hemisphere versus Northern Hemisphere, kind of, in a way. I mean, I won't say that I'm too much. I was North and South, Southern Hemisphere. I am.
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to ask you about that. So, it's obviously really well documented that you traveled around a lot when you were younger. I think off the top of my head, you've got Swansea, Dublin, New Zealand, South Africa. Can you join the dots for me on it? Where were you first, and then where did you start playing actually yourself?
Yeah. So it's obviously started in Swansea first couple of years, then to Wellington, New Zealand. Started playing a bit of ripper rugby, but like no contact at that stage. And then South Africa, barefoot rugby, which is good fun. That's when I was I was either 10 or fullback. And then Ireland for a year. That's around 2014, still in the backs. And then got back to New Zealand and under 14s, under 15s, I went straight to lock my speed, I got taller and heavier, and my speed sort of didn't catch up with that, so chucked me into lock, and now
Yeah.
here I am, really.
Yeah, but you show up on the wings a fair bit, and I think I saw on your stats you got a couple kicks from hand so far this season. So you're still keeping that alive and well, I think.
I love it. I definitely shouldn't kick as much as I do, but when it comes off, like it's I guess it's something that I genuinely back myself when it comes to kicking, but just knowing when to kick in the right times, I think that's the proper skill to have, really.
Oh, mate, in a year's time, no one remembers the bad ones, but the good ones stay on highlight reels. That's what I would say. So, can I just ask, what club did you play for in Ireland when you were there?
I was at Blackrock College, so uh,
Oh, another alumnus of BlackRock.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just it was called Willow. It was my first year of high school. It wasn't in the main campus. It was like a little separate entity in like the same area. My older brother was in he was 2 years above me then. So it was both of us playing Blackrock, but it was just for the one season. And to be fair, still we're still really close with a couple of boys that I went to school with there. So every now and then when I get a weekend off, I shoot across to Dublin to go see them. And Dublin's, as you probably know, is pretty fun fun city.
Yeah, it's worse places to go for a weekend away if you're visiting people. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But enough about the Irish capital. You've got Cardiff coming down in a couple of days now to the park. I mean, you've been up north now for a good few seasons. You've experienced what the Welsh derbies are like. How does it feel getting ready for hosting a derby in the park?
There's been like that level of excitement that, we have in our prep every week, even when it's not a derby. But specifically this week, you know what's coming on Saturday, and Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays in our training days, you can tell the boys are really switched on, and we're getting sort of the clear messages from our leaders, from our coaches and management, that we're really bringing into our sessions because just because we're out of contention for playoffs, like we still take this as serious as any other game. Because having winning those derbies feels a little bit better than just winning a usual game, and losing those games too feels slightly like a little bit worse than any other game. So the prep's been really good. I'm really excited to be back in after a couple months. I've tracked nicely, and the return to play date for me was always Cardiff. So, it was a goal of mine to make sure that I am back and fit for this game. So, looking forward to what comes on Saturday.
Oh, and actually, I skipped past that with you coming back from the shoulder injury. I know a couple of years ago, was it, you did your labrum?
Yeah.
Is it the same shoulder?
No, it's my
Oh.
other shoulder now. Fortunately, it's not my labrum this time. It's my AC, which obviously didn't require surgery.
Mm,
So I was lucky enough to be able to catch the back end of the season.
mm. And it felt good when you were swinging golf. It felt good on the drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, the golf swing wasn't affected too much. So I had like a bit of an ultimatum from my physio that if I go on this golf trip, I'm gonna have to be fit back with the team the following week. So I was like, yeah, just cracked on leading up to that. It was something to look forward to, and yeah, now we're here, good to
Yeah.
go.
Well, there's worse ways of warming a shoulder back up after some time off. So yeah. And specifically then about Cardiff, jumping back to there, um, are there anything, are there any areas that you guys are looking at in particular where you think that there's somewhere you can go after Cardiff? Maybe particularly as a forwards unit. What are you looking at?
We're able to identify their threats, especially around the breakdown. If they have a good day with their defensive breakdown work, it'll make it hard for us. So as a unit of forwards, to be fair, it's not even just the forwards; it's all 23 of us. We're making sure that through the 80 minutes that our speed to break down to take away the threats that they're going to bring on Saturday, we can nullify it. to make sure that our attack works well. We can build pressure through our sort of deep phases and fast attacking breakdowns. So, they're a class outfit, and they've got a lot of players that bring threats all throughout their game. So I think working on what we can bring as a team is gonna help that.
Hmm. And one of the other things that I think, not just around the breakdown, but one of the things I think of when I think about Cardiff is they love a kick from hand.
Yeah.
They're going to be starting probably 3 10s in their in their back line if you count
Yeah.
Ben Thomas and your old pal Johan Lloyd. So when play gets a bit more broken and the kicks are raining in, you're going to drop back as a 15 then with that experience and help out the boys, no?
Maybe not on Saturday, but I'll stick to my role. But yeah, no, that's just us on defense. We need to be connected through those phases. They're forwards. They're good with ball movement, and they like to play. They like to play sort of around the corner. Good running rugby with those little kicks that we've just got to be aware of. So yeah, it's they're a good attacking side, so we have to be sharp on both ends of on both sides of the ball, really.
Okay, Grant. Well, maybe sticking more with what is within your standard wheelhouse, shall we say?
Yeah.
I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the maul and the line out, I suppose, as an extension of that as well. Um, so, since last year, really, we've seen that element of the set piece be a really fantastic weapon for you boys. And with the trend in rugby now being there's less threes getting kicked, more kicks are going to the corner. Um, I'm just interested in maybe like as a forward unit, like what's your philosophy when it comes to the line out? What do you think you're doing that makes it so successful for you boys, both attack and defense, maybe?
To be fair, like I've got to give that to Albert Vandenberg really. Like the detail that he brings with our line out stuff is, superb, and it's clear. We all know our roles coming into the game because he puts so much detail into everything that we wanna make sure that we're, keeping up to his standard. Obviously, Max Douglas, great line out caller, and him and Albert have worked well together throughout the last couple of seasons. So that more stuff, like you said, it's definitely trending that there's more mauls over kicking 3 points. So it's something that we do have to work on a lot during the week. Um, and you see teams like your Glasgow's, your Bulls, who are really good at it. But bringing our own edge is something that we sort of pride ourselves in, really.
Mm. What about when it comes to the defensive side of things? Because you love throwing up a jumper when you're defending, and I've lost count of the amount of times I've seen the opposition maul set, and then it doesn't go anywhere for 1 second, and I see Sam Lousy appear in the middle of it, and I just know in that second, like nothing is that maul is dead
Yeah.
on arrival. Like, what are you guys doing to be so effective at that?
Well, I guess before the mall starts, you sort of always like the philosophy is that you want someone in there pressuring hooker, You don't want to give any easy balls, especially, now that if hooker doesn't throw straight and you haven't competed, then it doesn't matter whether it's straight or not. So I guess it begins with that line out pressure that you can put on. Again, the detail that Albert puts into it is great. And Laos on that Lousy note, like that's just one of his superpowers. Like getting through seams with those lift between the lifters and the jumpers is just something that he's so effective at. And it's so hard as an attacking team when there's someone like that that's really good, to get a useful maul going. So it's nice having Lousy on my team and not the other team. That's for sure.
Yeah, I believe that. I thoroughly believe that. Um, just then more about maybe your own play style. So I was doing some reading before the interview, and I found an interview that you have done with the URC at the beginning of the season. A really good read for anyone who wants to read it. It's called Taine Plumtree, and I'm struggling to say the title of this every single time. The Scarlet Star staying squeaky clean. There's too many S's in there. And in that, you were really going in about the breakdown and about how last season you felt like maybe you weren't always choosing the right breakdowns to enter. Maybe it was for the jackal, or maybe you were just hitting a ruck, and you were saying that that was a work on for you, and you felt that you wanted to change how you approach the breakdown. Is that still the case now? Do you feel like you've implemented those changes into your game?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like it's just picking and choosing the right moments. Um, it's also like being able to trust the team to be able to go into like deep defensive sets, like not thinking, oh shit, like I need to go out of system here to try help the team out. Like I'm gonna help the team out staying in system and carrying on like that. And then when my opportunity does come, which isn't going to be every time, then really going at it. And it's one of the bits of advice that I've got from Steve is that just that consistency around my game when it comes to that area. I'm not needing to. I'm trusting what the boys are doing around me, and they're trusting me that I'm going to stick into that system and not go out of shape just because I think I can try to get that ball back. So I think it's been good for me. That sort of change in mentality. I definitely got more turnovers last year, but obviously the discipline on that side of things was worse then too. So it's just being able to try find that middle ground of being able to go for that ball and also just know, all right, let me fold around the corner here, or let me hold instead, and let me pressure first hands instead of try dip my hand into this breakdown and give an advantage away. Yeah.
Mm. I mean, you bring up the discipline there. So I was looking at your stats, and it's in terms of the URC, you're pretty low down on the end of penalties conceded, especially compared to back rowers in the league, especially compared to back rowers in Wales. I suppose the stat where you're a little bit higher than some others comparatively might be the yellows that you've gotten this season.
Yeah.
Where do you see that disconnect? Because clearly, most of the time, referees aren't seeing much of a problem with your behavior if you'll be getting more penalties. Where do you think that disconnect is coming from?
I'm not ever going to question a ref's decision because you get in trouble for that. But I mean, looking back at some of those yellow cards, it's just is what it is. Like you said, I guess I've had less penalties, but I've had more yellow cards, which is just, I guess, unfortunate, and is how the game can go, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, so we'll wrap up in a minute, but obviously we're coming to the end of the season now. Like you said already, silverware doesn't seem like it's an option this year now. So what are the goals for the team as we go to the end of the year now?
There's four massive games for us. You've got obviously Cardiff, who are the best Welsh side on the table, coming to our home turf. And it's something we really want to get this win for our fans, for ourselves, just to I guess not start building into next season, but just have a little bit of momentum heading into next season. I mean, Bulls speaks for itself. They're a class side. We were able to get over them here last year, which is definitely something we're looking to do again. Ospreys, I guess that's just speaks for itself. And then, last game of the season, it's a new Dragon side that we've seen this year, which has been awesome for Welsh rugby. But, it's just another team that I really want to beat.
Yeah, I was at Rodney Parade on Boxing Day, and they are a different team. It's a bit sudden and a bit shocking, but looking forward to the return fixture. So look, I've got some quick fire questions that I'm just going to rattle through with you. Okay. Tea drinker or coffee drinker?
Coffee.
Oh man. How many years have you been up here now? This is
Yeah, I haven't quite got into tea yet, but no, definitely coffee.
okay. So the next one is early bird or night owl. I feel like I know the answer based on being a coffee drinker, but
No, yeah, I'm night owl. Night owl for sure. Well,
yeah,
yeah, night owl.
trying to be early, but you
Yeah.
default to night. Yeah.
I have to wake up at 6 to get to training, so it's kind of, yeah. If there was a preference, I wouldn't be waking up that early. But anyway, night owl.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, you've got a 5 meter pen. You taking the scrum or the tap and go?
Who's our front row?
Oh, good question. Who would you like it to be?
Nah, you answer that question.
I reckon we're gonna have Chems, Archer, and Mush.
Scrum.
No hesitation.
Scrum.
Okay.
Easy.
Now I really want to cycle through other front rows to see how that changes for you, but no, I won't put you through that. Did you have a favorite player or like a hero growing up?
Manonu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, you were in the backs, weren't you?
Yeah. No, I love that he's still playing too. Yeah. He's the man.
Have you ever met him? Have you
Yeah,
had the
yeah.
opportunity?
Plenty of times. Dad coached him. So we got to know him quite well. And he was just unbelievable. And it was just like so cool actually. Like, I was 5, 6 years old watching him on TV, but then also like he would talk to me too. So it was like just idol. Yeah.
So meet your heroes is your advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Like telekinesis.
Telekinesis is good. Very handy in a breakdown.
Oh, for sure.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
An eagle.
You thought about that more than you thought about any other answer. I could see that on your face. Pre-match superstitions. Got any of them?
Nah. I'm just straightforward. Just get my food in, and nah. I don't. To be fair, don't have any superstitions. I walk over 3 drains, and I walk under. Actually, no. To be fair, I wouldn't open an umbrella indoors, but like I feel like that's just a given.
Yeah, but that's logical. Unless you've got a leak, there's no need. That's the point.
Yeah.
I just got 2 more for you. If you could have, it's your last meal, right? What are you having? What are you ordering? Anything at all?
Starter, I'm going like chili squid. I'm going a bit of lamb chops, and specifically big portion of potato fries. And then like a Greek salad. I love a Greek salad. Dessert, like any of my mum's desserts for sure.
Fair enough. I'm just laughing because that's the first time anyone's given me a 3-course answer.
Yeah. I'm not having my last meal and not having. I'd probably go 5-course if it's my last meal.
I mean, you might as well. You're not going to be worried about the indigestion. So,
yeah.
But it's very sweet that you go with your mom's dessert, because the last person I asked about that was Archer, and he was like, any schnitzel that my mother makes is it. Yeah. And finally, you can have any 3 guests over for dinner, living or dead. Who are you having?
Oh, that's an on-the-spot question. I'll answer this, and then in an hour's time, I'm going to think of someone else and just.
Well, then you got to come back and tell us at another point.
Yeah,
so yeah.
Honestly, I'll go like Kevin Hart, bit of a laugh. Actually, it's got to be the duo of him and The Rock, and then like Megan Fox. But that's just because I've heard she's really funny too, obviously.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, Megan Fox, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Okay, you're living in a like 2010s movie. Is the thing? Yeah.
For some reason, I'm just thinking I was in Transformers, and The Rock and Kevin Hart were in there too.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Go for it. That's it. Taine Plumtree, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thanks for stopping by.
Cheers, mate.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.